Hello everybody, so I'm inspired. I'm feeling really good. Deep sense of joy and appreciation and gratitude in my heart. I just got back from a weekend workshop with Paul Selig, who's an author of 3 books that I have not read, and is a channel and psychic. And I really wasn't planning to go to this workshop, so I love the synchronicity of or spontaneity of just being at this workshop, and I'll share with you kind of how it unfolded. Paul's work was actually introduced to me about a year and a half ago, and I was slightly resistant only because I have many people send me suggested readings and suggested teachings, and oftentimes I find myself really sticking to A Course in Miracles and feeling a sense of loyalty to A Course in Miracles and sticking with the principles that it teaches. And it has had such a profound effect on how I experience life that I ask myself, well, why do I need to go anywhere else? And certainly at the time that is true. And certainly it is helpful for me. Nonetheless, what I discovered or realized that the Course teaching is, or where the Course is leading us to, is that everything in this world is illusory. It is illusion. So to have loyalty to anything in this world, including the Course, is to be attached to something in this world. And so if we want to be liberated from the world, then we really need to question loyalty, including something like A Course in Miracles. And I know many people have the same loyalty to a particular church or a particular teacher and so forth, and there's nothing wrong with it, and certainly can be helpful. And I'm not by any means saying that we should go out and try to learn different teachings. What I am saying is just to look at that loyalty that we sometimes have to a particular modality, and when another one's introduced, ask oneself, is this the next step? Is this something else that I want to expose myself to? Is there something to receive? And in this case, I feel like it was really, it was given to me. I was looking at Facebook, and I saw that Paul was holding an event in Los Angeles. And I had the thought, should I go? Do I want to go? And doing as many Course students do, it's a question for the Holy Spirit. Pause, stop. Holy Spirit, is this something that I should partake in? Do I want to invest my time and my money? And in that instant, I got an instant message from my friend John. And it said something like, Paul's in LA, you got to go, you got to check it out. And I'm going to gift you, I'm going to pay for your weekend workshop. And it was clear to me that it was given, and the sign and the symbols were there. And so the next step was to go to the workshop. And that's how I ended up at the workshop. I couldn't have predicted it a week ago. And it was certainly an experience going deeper into the joy, going deeper into the love. And what I found is, or what I realized is that the message coming from the spirit guides that Paul channels is really the same message that the Course teaches, and many other spiritual teachings as well. It may be different words, but where it's pointing to is the same place. It's, knowing yourself, knowing your truth. And there were very clear and key messages that I took away out of the weekend. The biggest one is claiming your worth. Claim your worth. It's not about establishing your worth, and I think that's where we get caught up in a lot of suffering, because in this world we think we need to establish our worth by the attainment of things, by the achievement of things, by being a good person, and that's not what it's about. It's about recognizing that your worth has already been established, not by you, but by a higher authority, by God, by love. And it's only when we step into that do we come to recognize the truth of what we are, which is whole and complete, all of which we want. We want to feel complete. We want to feel whole. We do not want to be dependent on anything outside of us to make us happy. And when we step into our worth, we recognize that everything in the world reflects our worth. And so we recognize the truth of what we are, which is whole and complete, no longer dependent on circumstances and situations in the world. Throughout the weekend, the spirit guides gave us clear prayer, I call it prayer, words or affirmations. We worked in partners where two people would come together, look one another in the eye, and say things like, I know who you are. I know what you are. I know how you serve. And that's really powerful, because the truth is, I didn't know anybody at this workshop. So to say I know who you are had nothing to do with, I know your name, I know your occupation, I know what you do, I know how many kids you have, I know you're gay or straight. It had nothing to do with that. I know who you are is, I see beyond your form to the truth of who you are. And in order to do that, I must come to recognize the truth of who I am. And by being convicted in the truth of who you are, I become convicted in the truth of who I am, beyond form, beyond the illusion of separation. I know how you serve has nothing to do with what you do in this world, but to say, I know how you serve is to say, I know your part in the whole, as the whole. I know your part. I know your inheritance. I know your value in the whole. I know without you, the whole cannot be. You're that important. You serve to show me. You are my salvation. I know how you serve because I know you are my salvation. We are here for each other as a reflection of me, as a reflection of God, as a reflection of the extension of God. Understanding, or not even understanding, just being witness to your wholeness and your purpose. I see how you serve. And so in that conviction, there's a shift in perception. There's an energetic shift, a recognition, a realization that can only be experienced. It cannot be put into words. It also made me think of a quote from A Course in Miracles that says, what would have effects through you must also have effects on you. In other words, if I'm looking at you and I'm telling you that I know who you are, I know what you are, and I know, how you serve, what would it have effects through me? The effect that has is that lands on the perceived other person. What would have effects through me must have effects on me. Because we're all connected. We're all one. So if I'm seeing you in your Christ likeness, then I'm seeing myself in my Christ likeness. And together we experience the joy. Together we experience the love, the wholeness, the completeness. And so the weekend was really filled with that. It was an opportunity also in a safe place to expose private thoughts, to no longer keep hidden some of our fears, no longer keep hidden some of our problems, if you will, or our thinking or our dysfunction, but rather to let it out. And guess what? When you let it out, it doesn't matter, because you're still known for what and who you are, and for how you serve, which is whole, complete, and joyous in every way and in all ways. And so I feel really good, and I'm here sharing with you the joy of the weekend and certainly what I got out of it. And also to say that if you're familiar with Paul's work, Paul is traveling this spring, and I'm sure will be traveling throughout the year. I don't know the specifics, but you can go and visit Paul's site at paulselig.com. I know that he'll be in Henderson, North Carolina, Asheville, San Miguel, Mexico, Louisville, Kentucky, and on a Hawaiian cruise. Check it out, or check out one of his books. The first book that I was aware of is I Am the Word. There's also the Book of Love and Creation and the Book of Knowing and Worth, all of which are channel text, none of which Paul takes credit for actually authoring. Certainly sees himself as an instrument of this intelligence, and also very loving. And that's all I have to say. Is I had a great weekend. I love you. I adore you. And till next time.